Welcome everyone to Discourse. Today we're going to be discussing The Fragility of Light, a young woman's descent into madness and fight for recovery by Heather S. Lonczak, PhD. The Fragility of Light, Heather S. Lonczak's debut novel, a poignant exploration of mental health, resilience, and the enduring power of familial bonds. Sunny Zielinski is a beautiful and talented young woman with a promising future. Sunny has landed her dream job as a book editor and is soon to be married. Following two major losses, Sunny finds herself becoming unhinged. When she experiences her first psychotic break, she is plunged into a place of profound fear and confusion. As her delusions, hallucinations, and mood symptoms take over, Sunny traverses a harrowing journey into the depths of madness. Underlying her despair is the devastating delusion that she is being hunted by the Nazis.
Yeah, so obviously she was really close with her grandparents. Through reading the book, we noticed that she was close to them because her mom died when she was very young, about 8 or 9 years old. And she was close to her dad, but, he worked a lot, and so the grandparents literally raised her. She mentions a lot that they survived the Holocaust and they don't really talk about it like it's a sensitive matter.
Yeah.
And also because they protect her as well as the dad. He doesn't share a lot of it because she has like hints of emotional unstableness, right?
Yeah, definitely from the very get-go you understand that she's dealing with a lot of things internally. So what I picked up was that she was depressed, she had anxiety, social anxiety, she was very much so an introvert. I don't know, I almost felt like she had a lot of OCD tendencies too.
Yeah, being very neat, stacking books a certain way.
I feel like we really experienced everything that Sunny was going through. And we were able to really be in her mindset every step of the way and understand where she was coming from, but also what she was thinking of people that she met, like her mother-in-law, her stepmom, and her her half-siblings. And we got to really understand her inner workings, which is always interesting when we read books, right? To kind of be in their mind and kind of almost guess their next steps. And it makes more sense, the decisions they make later on.
Yeah, and especially for her, why she did certain things. Like, I don't know, it's like every situation, like even just talking to someone new, getting home, like at the end of the day, she would overthink it. Like, did I say too much? Did it look weird what they think about me? Oh my God, did I ruin my life? Should I have been there?
Overanalyzing.
So much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also thinking that she had to run 5 miles.
Yeah.
Because if she didn't, something bad was going to happen.
Yeah. And that's OCD.
Yeah.
For sure.
And one time she changed her route and she thought that she ran like 1/8 of a mile less. And she got up like at 4 a.m. or some crazy hour to go finish that 8th because she was like panicking and thinking that, oh no, some bad omen is going to happen. My grandparents are going to get hurt. And I think that had to do with just them being in the Holocaust. Like for some reason, she always connected a lot of things to the grandparents. Thinking because they went through so much, if she couldn't just do like a 5-mile run, like she wasn't worthy or she was gonna do some harm. I don't know, interesting thinking, but you could see more and more as, the book progresses about her mental state.
So she meets her future husband, they meet in college, and again, she was kind of like, not a loner, but she was always by herself. She didn't really go to parties and, do those sorts of things that you do in college.
She had the one friend.
Yeah, the one friend. But they did meet because they did have a class and he would always see her and he fell in love with her instantly, right? She always says she has a hard time letting people in, getting close to her family, getting close to herself. She kind of holds like her family as like a precious thing to her. So she finally lets him in, slowly, and he starts to get to know her more. And he sees all of these things that we started to see at the very beginning, right? He accepts them, every one of them. They get married, and even there's like a disaster at the wedding, and he still moves forward as if it's okay because I love Sunny and it doesn't matter. all these things, all these little things that would probably, like, most people would be totally put off by and be like, oh no, you need to go and seek help. Like, I am not going to deal with this. So he truly did love her and deserved her acceptance and, you know.
Yeah, and I'm just laughing thinking about his mom. Because, moms always want the best for us. And
mom.
So, when you get married, you have the cake, you feed each other cake. But apparently he was goaded by his fraternity friends to, do more, like make it exciting. So he ended up doing like a little bash with the cake on her face. And she freaked out, said a bad word, and just stormed out of the reception, and she was gone.
From her own wedding, she's gone.
The mom was like, oh my God, like, who's this crazy person my son's gonna marry? Like, she's not worthy, like, she's insane, like, he doesn't deserve this. The husband, of course, trying to settle her down, like, relax. But, Joshua, her husband then, he just seemed to understand her, didn't take it personally, and just got back to the party. Like, the party continued. The wedding didn't end with the reception. That's like her, like, she completely freaked out and left. Before that, she was freaking out a lot about nothing. Like, the wedding's gonna go bad, something horrible's gonna happen, this and that, and that was literally the worst part, or the only bad part.
But I feel like she just tended to really give in to her issues, right, that she was having, that she was going through and experiencing. We're experiencing Sunny's life alongside her. Some of the chapters are in other perspectives, like her husband her dad. But for the most part, it is Sunny. So we get to live this chaos that starts to happen with her. From getting married to seeking help, right? The author really paints a good picture of someone who's struggling, who's a good person, means well, is trying to do well in life and be happy, and who goes through something very serious in their life where it's like mental illness is a difficult thing to battle and to deal with. So she really paints a good picture of a normal patient or a person with symptoms and then a diagnosis.
Yeah, but something happened that kind of just blew the gates open, and then you find out that her mom had similar issues, but probably worse. Like, she wasn't, the short time that she was in her life, she wasn't really there. There would be episodes and she'd be gone for a week, or she'd be in and out. She'd forget to pick her up from school, and find out that her mom's mom, her grandma, same situation. So it was kind of like hereditary, right? Or it was in the genes.
Yeah.
So the dad was, he was aware, so he was doing everything he could to protect her. And, you just see a lot of realistic actions, by a parent, by a husband, grandparents who they went through a lot, but they still kept that to themselves and raised her to be this good person, be smart, and just do the best. She hated change. She liked everything to be balanced. Anything that was a little different
really threw her off,
and she was just think about it so much that she couldn't sleep. She didn't really eat.
I mean, it really kept her from living her life and moving forward. Like her first day of her new job, she was so worried about everything. How it's going to go, the people she's going to meet, what she's going to wear, like literally every step of the way. And it all turned out fine, but she was also just worried, like, I'm just going to get fired. Like right off the bat, you haven't even gotten there yet.
Yeah.
She's already worried about losing her job. So
even though she did great, and she was also very artistic, to me it's funny. She hated her husband because he could just chat with anyone and be on good terms with anyone. And he just had no problem talking to like mass audiences and presenting, where she was always too worried. And I think she started taking like prescription drugs just to manage like one weekly meeting.
Yeah.
So that's how,
like anxiety meds and stuff.
After all that craziness, like she does, seek help. Her husband and her dad kind of work together and they're each other's, support.
Which is so nice to see. And it's important to know that keep your family and your friends really close, because they're the ones who are going to be by your side when you really need help and that support system.
That's where the book kind of starts taking the better turn.
Yeah.
It goes up and down. Like you see the bad, and then meeting her husband Joshua, and then the whole college experience.
Yeah, it's definitely a roller coaster. She even experiences some, death in the family, and which that probably on top of everything else was just not any more helpful. in her situation, but at least it led to her being, cared for and diagnosed and on her way to maintaining a healthy life.
Yeah, and you get to see as you read along how she and, her husband, her family go through this and make the best out of it.
Thanks for hanging out with us, guys, and be sure to check out The Fragility of Light by Heather S. Lonczak, PhD.